Holistic connection. Let's heal. Holistic connection. Let's learn. Holistic connection. Let's grow. Holistic connection. Let's be real.
Hello, everyone. This is Pamela Topjian. I am your host for Holistic Connections. And the topic we're going to talk about today has a lot of stigma around it. So I want you to listen with an open mind and with some curiosity today. So I will introduce my guest, Scottie. Actually, I'm going to welcome Scottie and have you introduce yourself and share what you do in the holistic healing space, please.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
Yeah.
My name is Scottie Oceano. I'm on the big island of Hawaii in a place called Pahoa. We are in the Puna rainforest. Grew up in a spiritual family, and since I was 7, learned all kinds of interesting spiritual modalities and topics, ranging from energy work to Hermetic philosophy and things like that. Through the course of my life, we evolve, have different interests, and now it's led me to this place in Hawaii to where I'm leading and hosting retreats revolving around the Hermetic wisdom teachings as well as plant medicine, primarily psilocybin.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So interesting that you grew up in a more spiritual family. So it hasn't really been anything that you had to make a switch from, has it? Just kind of a natural evolution for you, it sounds like, to get into this.
Yeah, well, it actually was a big switch for me
Mm,
because of my spiritual upbringing, I've been sober my whole life,
hmm
and I wore my sobriety like a badge of honor. And when I grew up, there was this whole war on drugs. There still is. The say no to drugs thing was a really big thing. And I've never even smoked cannabis or pot or anything like that. But what led me into this was I had a traumatic brain injury. I've had many throughout my life because I was a pro athlete
mm-hmm.
with high impact sports. But yeah, I ended up having a really doozy of a brain injury. And the neurologists were like, you're going to live with these symptoms the rest of your life. I had 3 different neurologists, and they all said the same thing. And I refused that diagnosis. And I one day just got on and I was working with a functional medicine practitioner, but I just Googled nutrition for the brain, and all these studies from Johns Hopkins University came up. So I dove deep into that, and it still took me months and months for me to just get over myself of
Yeah.
like drugs are bad. I was a victim of that stigma.
Yeah.
And so eventually I'm like, well, I'm either gonna try to control my own consciousness for the rest of my life or just let go and see what happens. And I didn't want to live with these symptoms. So I ended up doing it. And the first 3 times, literally nothing happened. And I was taking high doses. And I was just like, well, maybe I'm tripping all the time. And I just don't know,
Just
you
this
know?
natural state. Yeah.
Yeah, but eventually it worked, and it was very profound. And one component was my very first experience with psilocybin. When it worked, I got this interesting message, was like, you're doing this right.
Mm,
So that gave me a lot of self-confidence and validation. And then once I went through several different experiences and my brain trauma was pretty much healed, I was just like, wow, I've been entering into these non-ordinary states of consciousness my whole life through breath work, meditation, out-of-body
yeah.
experiences. And I'm doing a lot of holistic energy work, healing work, sound therapy. And I'm like, these things go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So it was a natural segue for me at that point, but it took a lot for me to just get over the stigma that you were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a lot of stigma around using mushrooms to help people in recovery because a lot of people would say that it's trading one drug for another. It's the same with any kind of medicated assisted treatment for recovery, really. It's not just with the mushrooms, but people think that this is just another form of getting high for the sake of getting high. So can you sort of help dispel that misconception a little bit and talk a little bit how the retreats help people in recovery?
Yeah, that's such a good question about trading one drug for another. So what we have to understand is if we look at Hippocrates and he said, let food be thy medicine, everything we're putting in our bodies is a drug, right? what we label pharmaceutical drugs is totally different than the plant medicine drugs. And a plant medicine can be oregano, it could
Right.
be aloe vera, it could be psilocybin mushrooms. So we just have to really just zoom out and see like, okay, what does the word drug mean? Okay. Everything we consume affects us. Everything we put on our skin, our hair, toothpaste, the fluoride in the water, all of these things. So once we can get past that, one of the things is trading one drug for another. So there's people who have addictions,
Mhm.
alcohol, tobacco, eating
Coffee.
addictions, all kinds of things. Yeah, phones.
Right, right.
Yeah, doom scrolling. But no one gets addicted to psilocybin. It's quite the opposite. There, it is, they schedule drugs from schedule 1 to 3. One, if you look at the categories, one of the components of or attributes of a schedule 1 drug is it's highly addictive.
Hmm.
Psilocybin has no addictive properties whatsoever. None. And that is proven by science. It's proven by the community of people who do them. There's proven by thousands of years of usage. They've been around forever, longer than human beings probably. There's no addictive component to it. So that's a big factor. And then we can look at the anecdotal evidence of people having spiritual experiences and how
Hmm.
it helps them. And then we could look at the scientific evidence through all the studies of Johns Hopkins University, Imperial College of London, Robin Carhart Jr., who have, I think I said his last name wrong, um, and all of these other psychedelic luminaries who have really helped create the psychedelic renaissance on what these things can really help us with. So
Yeah.
psilocybin is extremely safe. No one has ever overdosed from psilocybin. No one's ever died from psilocybin. And it's this beautiful thing that the creator bestowed upon the planet that can help us in many, many ways, not just with addictions, but also from a spiritual perspective. Very, very powerful experiences people have.
Yeah, and you list on your website as well, people going through PTSD from many different things, including war, which is horrible that people live with. And it's so great that there is some help out there. If other therapies, other types of more traditional therapies aren't really working for some of these people a lot of the times, it's great that there's an alternative out there. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's another really important topic with
Yeah,
all of this. And we have to just zoom out and take a perspective.
yeah.
If and therapy works and helps a lot of people.
Mm.
Interestingly enough, 1/3 of my clients that come here have been therapists or
Oh, hmm.
psychiatrists or psychologists.
Interesting.
For many reasons. Some of them are because they realize the powerfulness of it. So they feel like, okay, I'm having patients who are going through these experiences. I've never experienced it, so I should be able to relate to them. That's
Yeah,
one part. And then there's other people who, doing that kind of work as a therapist, it's heavy. You're hearing a lot of stuff.
yeah,
And they're humans too. They have their own lives that are challenging. They all see therapists. So it's natural for them to want to kind of seek out this type of thing. When it comes to the PTSD aspects of it, um, you know, therapy can only do so much.
yeah.
And then the therapists get into these other modalities such as EMDR,
Hmm.
which works, but it also has limitations. I've done EMDR because I had a PTSD from getting hit by a garbage truck.
Oh,
I had an exaggerated startle response. So, like if a fly farted in the room, I'd get startled,
oh
you know?
gosh, yeah, yeah,
So it was the psilocybin that really helped through that. And to be honest, I don't know how it did it. And
yeah.
when science is looking at these things, they're just now beginning to understand. There was a recent study coming out about the window of opportunity of rewiring the physical
Mm.
aspects in the brain. The study just came out a few weeks ago. And there's this rewiring window. And with psilocybin, it's 2 weeks. So it's not like you're just having um, this experience for a few hours
Yeah,
and then you come out and you're healed. You have to have proper integration. So with PTSD, The preparation, the experience is one part, and then the integration is where the magic happens. No pun intended with magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
So having a skilled integration mentor or a facilitator is a huge part of that component of people suffering from addictions or PTSD to help move through that to where they can move on and it's no longer an issue with them.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So interesting. So you have the mushroom retreats, and it's a beautiful space looking on your website. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Um, what can people expect when they come to one of the retreats? And are there any other sort of modalities or methods that you are facilitating while there?
Yeah, well, thank you. We're really blessed to be here. Hope that the
Yeah.
island of Hawaii, the Big Island, is just stunning. It's got 13 different microclimates, the volcanoes. It's just an amazing, lush place. We found this place that used to be a nursery, so we have this amazing botanical garden
Nice.
that you can walk through. We have the largest variety of Vireo rhododendron flowers in the entire Pacific. So that's one component of it. So when people are coming here for a retreat, the biggest thing is everyone, we all have busy lives. We all have these phones in front of us all the time. Getting people out of distraction and into the mind and reconnecting with nature is a huge part of this. The mushrooms feel very earthy. When people do psilocybin mushrooms during the day and their eyes are open and they're outside, you feel the oneness with nature. And that's where we come from. We're not
Yeah.
separated from nature, we're part of it. So being in this place is inherent or is really important for that. Anyone could do mushrooms. You could do it in your apartment. You could do
Mhm.
whatever. But to optimize the experience, being in a very quiet place outside of all these Wi-Fi signals and everything is important. So we do a handshake dose. So the second day they're here during the day, we give them a relatively small dose, and that's dependent upon body weight and also experience. If no
Mhm.
one's ever done mushrooms before, we're going to give them anywhere between 1.5 to 2 grams, which may not mean a lot to someone who doesn't know about this, but it's enough for you to feel something, but not enough to just send you off into the cosmos. So we do that so people can feel what it feels like physically, somatically, and also mentally and emotionally. So that's really important. And then we get to observe them. And there's no big fanfare, there's not a big ceremony. We just really want to just watch and see how the medicine reacts with them. And then after that, we do a little bit of integration. Then the next day, we take the whole day off. We go on an excursion. We do a very deep dive into why they're here.
Mm.
And we start that 2 weeks before they arrive. We really
Mhm.
want to build rapport, get to know people so they're comfortable.
Yeah.
So when they're here, especially people, you know, are sharing deep things about their life, there has to be a level of comfort because they have to be open to the whole experience, which includes the facilitators and sharing very deeply personal things,
Yeah.
whether it be childhood trauma, trauma from war, trauma from a bad breakup or a relationship, or trauma from addictions. So we do a lot of rapport building and we dive deep. There's a very specific protocol that we came up with that we go through that helps foster that
Yeah.
situation. Diet is a big part of it. We're feeding people very healthy foods, mostly plant-based
Mhm.
foods. That's a very important part of again, food be thy medicine. So
Mhm.
want a healthy gut, healthy mind. And then we do a macro dose. And on the macro dose day, well, I have to add during that day off from in between the mini dose and the macro dose, we do an island excursion. So we take people up to the volcano, we take people to the black sand beach and the rainforest tour of the coast. It's really just beautiful. Because when you're in Hawaii, you got to see
For
Hawaii.
sure. Yeah. So are
Um,
these all in groups, or are you working with people one on one? They're coming there one on one, or are they coming there? Is there a group when they come?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So we are one of the very few retreat centers that work solely one-on-one.
Oh,
We
yeah,
may have
yeah.
two people here at the same time, and the only group things that we do are meals, maybe yoga, breath work, visualization, meditation techniques, and the excursions. Anytime the guest is sharing anything personal about their life or the ceremony itself or their journey or the integration, all of those things are done in a very private one-on-one session. There are some positive things about group therapies
Sure.
where you feel, especially veterans who have
Yeah.
this brotherhood and they've gone through similar experiences and they can relate to each other.
Yeah.
Um, but not a lot of people want to share their shame. People have shame about their traumas. They
Yeah.
should have shame about their addictions. So we do this in a one-on-one setting. We really just want people to feel comfortable. And the important part too is once we do the macro dose, when you're on psychedelics, especially psilocybin, you can be very hyper aware of your surroundings and your environment. Any sound or movement or voice or whatever can take you away from a really important moment. The psilocybin experience and psychedelic journey is it's not like a dream, but it can be like a dream in the sense that you're having a great dream and then you have to get up to go to the bathroom and you're like, oh my God, I was having this amazing dream. It was so cool. And then you get back to bed and you're like, oh, I just want to go back to that. You'll never get
Yeah.
back there,
Right.
So with psilocybin, you could be in this really incredible moment of a breakthrough, right? Because what it does is it opens the door between the conscious mind, the lower mind, and the unconscious and subconscious mind to
Yeah.
where you get to see all the dark stuff that's affecting us in our conscious minds. And when that door is open, there's a lot of profound things in there. That's where the healing happens. So if someone next to me starts laughing or they're having a hard time or the facilitator is talking to them, that could easily distract me and take me out of that really critical moment.
Mhm.
So that's why, we're a nonprofit organization. We don't have a profit motive. Obviously, if we could do this for free, we would love to, but
Yeah.
it takes money.
Right.
But we make the barrier of entry as low as possible. And we really want effective change. We want lasting
Yeah.
change. So we feel that the only way to do this is to optimize the experience. And we do that through the one-on-one
Yeah.
experience. And it's great. It never ceases to amaze me that there's miracles that
Yeah.
happen. It's just incredible. And I'm in the business and this is what I do. And every time someone comes here, I'm like, that's amazing. I'm
Yeah.
just blown away,
And you've been doing this a long time, right? And you're still just pinching yourself that
Oh
how
my God,
amazing it
yeah.
can be. Yeah. That's
It's so
wonderful.
rewarding,
Yeah.
it's so rewarding. And not everybody is one and done. There are
Mm-hmm.
people, we have some clients who have suffered from migraines and they're for years since they were teenagers and they're in their
Mm-hmm.
40s and 50s and 60s and
Yeah.
they realize that taking medication is unsustainable and it's only blunting the migraines. Well, we do have some people who come here once every 9 months, once every seven
Mm-hmm.
months for migraines.
Ah.
They'll come back and they don't know how it works, but it helps people with migraine headaches. It helps people with cluster headaches. And some people, they'll never have one again. And
Mm.
some people, they're like, I haven't had a migraine headache in 9 months. This is the first time in 25 years this has happened. And then when they start coming on again, they'll call and they'll be like, I would love to
Yeah.
come for another visit and, bring my spouse or my partner. So,
Yeah, so that makes sense too to think about bringing your partner or your spouse. Um, you know, you're working mainly one-on-one. There might be another person there or that, but I love that people would come with maybe a trusted loved one, regardless of the relationship, but to sort of have that special person in their life with them while they do it, and then they go through this together. So let's talk about do you do any classes or courses or anything that would be just online, or are you doing only the retreats in Hawaii?
yeah, we do facilitator trainings. So there's a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
people. Yeah. And it's a mix. There's some people who want to get into this to do what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's a lot, it's the mushroom psilocybin is safe, but if you really want to help people, it all starts with preparation and
Yeah.
the pre-arrival and getting to know them and knowing how to kind of break those barriers down with people to where they start to feel comfortable. Then, once people are here at the retreat center, part of facilitation is the primary job is safety.
Yeah.
You have to keep people safe no matter what. All kinds of things can happen. If you read through the literature, which there's a lot of it, or you go through a website like arrowwood.org, which is the largest accumulation of people sharing their experiences.
Mm.
And you read through all of these things, and things can come up, especially people who
Yeah.
may not be ready for the experience. But that's why we have places like this to where we can help prepare them, because if you're prepared, the less likely someone is to have a very challenging or difficult or dangerous experience. So the facilitator training brings them through this whole thing. And then the other important part of the facilitator training is the integration. And that's 85% of the work
Yeah.
is how do you have this almost indescribable psychedelic experience that can really heal you from a very deep level. um, how do you make sense of it? And how do you integrate that into your everyday life when you go back home and you go back to
Yeah.
your family or your job or whatever it may be? And that's an art.
Yeah.
It's not, and the integration part is my job is not to interpret someone's experience. It's to help them make sense of it
Yeah.
through their own lens. But we take copious amounts of notes of the weeks leading up to getting or for them to that journey. So
Mm.
when you come out of that experience, you may be just hyper focused on, I saw fractals, or I saw this, or my mother came up when I was a child, and all of these things. And the integration part is, and what we teach this really great method of helping connect the dots. And that the healing and the sense making has to come from the person, not
Yeah.
me. It's their job to make sense of it, but it's my job to help guide them through that process. So the facilitator training that we do is from start to finish, and so people can be confident that one, they know how to keep people safe,
Yeah.
and two, like dosage, preparation, optimizing for the experience, being prepared for unknown unknowns of what could come up.
Mm-hmm.
Even though psilocybin is safe, people can have spiritual emergencies.
Yeah.
The ego can dissolve. They may not know if they're alive. They may not
Mm-hmm.
know if what they're experiencing is real or not. So knowing how to navigate through this. So we do a facilitator training.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. Above and beyond that of the
Mm-hmm.
psilocybin, I've been doing spiritual mentoring for many years now,
Mm-hmm.
and through the lens of Hermetic philosophy, which is
Mm-hmm.
essentially ancient Egyptian spirituality,
Yeah.
which all religion and faiths are built upon. So I work through a very specific lens, and I've done workshops online for that. I've do retreats here to
Mm-hmm.
where they're wellness retreats, but kind of diving deep into what I call the path of self-mastery,
Mm.
to where people can really just through practical applications of exercises, with also learning some things from a heady perspective, putting these things
Right.
together and kind of diving deeper into who they really are and why life shows up the way it does and how to navigate it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's so great. I love that.
Thanks.
So you have two different websites, and so the mushroomretreat.org, obviously that's for the mushroom retreats. And then the other one is it SOL Soul Temple?
Yeah, Soul Temple is the church. So we are
Okay.
set up as a spiritual organization. And that's what allows us to do this legally. You have
Okay.
decriminalization in Oregon, decriminalization in Colorado, and a few other municipalities throughout the country. Um, but it's still a Schedule One drug, and local law
Mm,
enforcement may be really scared of these things, but it's a holy sacrament.
okay. Yeah.
So we're set up as a church, and that's what the Soul Temple is. And
Okay.
Soul, SOL,
Yeah.
is an acronym for siblings of light,
Mm-hmm.
meaning, we're all brothers and sisters
Yeah.
of light,
Yeah. I was
So
going to ask you about that. Yeah.
yeah.
So thank you for that.
Um, yeah, that website we're gonna change it up a little bit.
Okay.
It'll be a portal for something else because we're training facilitators who want to work here,
Mm-hmm.
which is great because then we can reach more people. So the Soul Temple website will be a portal, one to the spiritual, churchy aspects of
Yeah.
what we do, and then the other portal of that will be group, group retreats, meaning if I train you as a facilitator,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to come here. The goal is to lower the cost for
I
people to come
see.
here, but we
Yeah.
need, so if we have 6 people here with 3 facilitators,
Mm-hmm.
we can pull that off and then lower the
Yeah.
cost for people to come here. Yeah,
Yeah. So then there's different options for people. Yeah. So more people can
absolutely.
have that experience. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So where is the best place for people to reach you and find out more about you and what you do and what you have to offer and all of that? Where's the best place?
Yeah, the mushroomretreat.org is the
Okay.
best place. Yeah, is the best way to reach out.
Okay.
Um, Also on Instagram, soul.temple. People can always reach out and DM or Facebook, Scottie
Okay.
Oceano. It's ocean with an O at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
And you have a YouTube channel or?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. So yes, have a YouTube channel. I've done a lot of public speaking. So I've
Yeah.
given over 400 lectures on spiritual topics.
Mm.
Um, and I would say maybe about 200 of them are probably recorded on this app called Clubhouse.
Okay.
But
Yep.
yeah, so that app, not many people are using it anymore, and I've
Right.
been encouraged to start a podcast. So the YouTube channel, which is spiritual, not religious, that's the name of it,
Okay.
will be pretty. I would say launching January 2026 is when all the episodes will start hitting.
Oh, okay. Okay. Awesome.
That YouTube channel will be not just plant medicine, but I'm going to also offer a lot of educational stuff
Nice.
for people. Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be
regarding
great.
plant medicines, how to prepare, if people are going to do something like this on their own, like
Mm.
how to do it safely. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be great. Looking forward
yeah,
to that. So is there anything else that you would like to share or make sure that people know before we end this today?
yeah. You had mentioned the stigma behind it. It's really
Yeah.
interesting. We have had a really amazing demographic of clients here. And when I say that, we've had people who are very religious,
Hmm.
um, who, like me, was, say no to drugs.
Yeah.
But they realize whatever they're going through is not sustainable. And, Christians, our last client was Muslim, which was interesting. And they all have these amazing mystical experiences through the lens of their own belief systems.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful. So this type of work is if it's done one thing, it's proved to me that clearly it's not about getting high or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's really this incredible experience that's there for everyone. It sounds like this amazing magic pill, and many times it seems like it can be. People of all faiths. Our oldest guest was 83 years old, a
Mm.
retired psychologist of 48 years.
Wow.
And he had never had a mystical experience before, and that's all he came here for.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
Sounds like a bucket list item that he maybe
yeah,
had.
yeah, exactly. We have 2 doctors who are coming in pretty soon here, and they say my life's fine. uh, you know, there's no baggage I needed to get dig up, but I really just want to go through the experience,
Yeah.
and I just want to do it in a safe environment.
Yeah.
So,
Smart.
yeah, yeah,
Smart to do it
yeah,
that way if they just want to
yeah,
experience it. Yeah.
yeah. So you don't even necessarily need to be overcoming addiction or trauma
Yeah.
because the experience in itself, it is is really just incredible and defies human language. It's
Yeah.
it's an experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine too that a lot of times people come there thinking they don't have any baggage, and then once
Yeah.
they have the experience, like, oh yeah, that came up. That must have been
Yeah.
something that was buried in there that I buried pretty good, but it came up. So yeah,
That
I'm sure
you
that
know
happens.
That happens. That's the humbling part, when we
Right.
think, oh, I have my life together. I don't need anything, and then all of a sudden, wham, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, I can imagine that happens.
Yeah.
Well, Scotty, thank you so, so much for explaining all of this today. I think this has been an amazing episode, and I can't wait for others to hear it and to learn from you and to visit your website and visit the retreat.
Thank you so much for the experience and the opportunity. Thank you. It
Absolutely.
means a lot to me.